As a Doclet author, you can use reference variables to create directional text, such as increase or decrease for a report narrative, or to implement cross-footing rules for increased data accuracy. I have been assigned as the author of this doclet. In this doclet, reference variables are being used to identify the values for net revenue, planned revenue, the variance between net and planned revenue, and so forth. A reference variable is also using directional text to identify whether the net revenue is above or below the planned revenue. This profit by segment table contains row subtotals and column subtotals. A reference variable is being used to employ a cross-footing formula that checks data accuracy by verifying that the grand total calculated by summing the row subtotals equals the grand total calculated by summing the column subtotals. In this example, the reference variable value indicates that the sums are not equal. All of the reference variables in this doclet are sourced from the same Vision Statements reference doclet in this report package. So let's take a look at the Vision Statements source reference doclet. For reference variable values that are sourced in Excel, it is recommended that you use a single worksheet for reference variable values with cell references to other worksheets. In this example, the reference variable values are stored in this Rules worksheet. I can see that the values for net revenue and planned revenue are both referenced from the Summary Income Statement worksheet in this reference doclet. The variance value is calculated using an Excel formula. The directional text for above or below is also calculated using a simple Excel if formula based on the variance value. If I look at the reference variables defined for this report package, I can see that the net revenue above-below reference variable is defined with this value. This is the reference variable being used to define the directional text in the report we looked at earlier. The values for rows subtotal and columns subtotal are both referenced from the Profits by Segments worksheet in this reference doclet. A simple Excel if formula calculates whether the subtotal sums are equal. If not, the formula returns a warning text. If I look at the reference variables defined for this report package, I can see that the cross-footing check reference variable is defined with this value. This is the reference variable being used to check for data accuracy in the report we looked at earlier. In the previous example, I used native Excel formulas to compare data values in the same reference doclet and then used a reference variable to return the cross-footing result. Let's look at another method that will allow me to compare data values that exist in different doclets. In this example, I have created a reference variable with the value set to the total inventory value in the balance sheet worksheet in this reference doclet. I have created another reference variable with the value set to the total inventory value in the inventory summary reference doclet. I insert the reference variables and use an Excel formula to crossfoot the numbers. To learn more, visit docs.oracle.com.